knowing that allows us to know what it feels like to be home. And when we know what it feels like to be home, we know when we've diverged away from home. We can tell when we've gone astray, and we can come back. Last video, I was talking about self-abandonment, how I'm recovering from self-abandonment, how I am someone who went so far away from home, from me, that I lost myself. And I was thinking about what's the process of coming home to ourselves. We might have heard this language before. We might have, heard it used in different ways, but what is it really about? I think about those moments where you've come home from a long day at work, from playing a role and playing a part and being a person that is not fully you, that is not enlivening your spirit, your sense of self. It's not empowering you. It's not making you feel fully alive, or you're just exhausted and you've arrived at your place of rest. What are you doing to remember yourself? Literally remember the parts of you that you have strayed away from, whether in a day, whether in a week, whether in a year or several. What's the process of coming home? What's the aftercare? What is the care for self? And what it boiled down to, or has started to boil down to for me, is creating a world, an archive of what helps me come back home. I have to learn and date myself, as one of my favorite people, Marita, talks about. You have to continuously visit yourself, learn about yourself, notice the things that make you feel alive, that make you feel full, that make you feel centered, that make you feel grounded. Notice the language that you're using to describe your days, to describe yourself. And create an archive of that. Collect this information about yourself so that you can come home when you need to. That might look like physical things, like taking a shower with a certain body wash. That might look environmental, right? It might be a certain type of fabric. It might be having pictures of people who make you feel alive in your space. It might be certain colors. It might be certain vibes. It might be spiritual practices. For me, it's spiritual to go find something funny and laugh, right? It might be movement. It might be music. And oftentimes we're living so presently that we don't necessarily even notice that these things are what make us feel alive. A tool that I want to offer you is starting to notice, collect the information, literally write it down, put it in a folder on your computer of the things that make you feel full, that make you feel alive, that make you come back to yourself. Because this is your archive of remembrance. And when we think about those moments when we're pulled away from ourselves, where we have to play a role, where we have to heighten our feeling of being powerful, or, dampen our ability to express in a way that feels natural, like when we're code switching, or when we are, new in a role and having to be a leader of some kind, new in a position of how we coach and what kind of challenges we are stepping into in our partnerships. This archive of remembrance can really start to allow us to rejuvenate, come home, be our aftercare, to remember ourselves. And regardless of if it's because of a community, a relationship, a job, a society, this archive becomes essential. Some people use it in their rituals and their routines. Some people just have things on their wall. That's what I do. And I feel and I sit there and I let myself feel how good it is to be inspired by that. So, what are the things, the physical things, the spiritual things, the emotional things, the mental things, the psychological things, the environmental things, the people, the places, the temperatures, the foods that are part of your archive of remembering? What are the things that are part of that collection that help you come home, that when you feel you have gone astray, help you come back? Knowing that allows us to know what it feels like to be home. And when we know what it feels like to be home, we know when we've diverged away from home. We can tell when we've gone astray, and we can come back. So I hope this has inspired you, and I invite you to create your archive of remembering. How did this resonate with you? I want you to comment below. Maybe there's something that immediately came to mind, like, oh yes, I need more of that. Comment down below what that is, and it might inspire somebody. It might help someone else remember too, and help us all come back home. And with that, may you be empowered, may you feel good, and may this resource you. Share this with somebody that might need this. And I'll see y'all next time.